you our institute, the French Institute for Central Asian Studies, or IFEAC. The institute is based in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, but is dealing with the whole region, the whole Central Asian region, so the 5 republics. So it's not only Kyrgyzstan. Myself, well, I'm Xavier Hallez. I'm a senior researcher at IFEAC, and with me today will be Diana Skiba, our scientific secretary, and we will try to present quite briefly our institute, what we are doing, and what we can offer. So, as it was said in the title, the main purpose of our institute is to support scientific cooperation and research in Central Asian studies. So it's not only French, even if it's in the title of our institute, but we are not excluding anybody. So we are mainly working with 2 parts, so Central Asian scholars or students and institutions, and European or American, Japanese, I say also scholars, institution and students. Uh, so the IFEAC, the French Institute for Central Asian Studies, is now already for 10 years in Bishkek. And so we are just trying to have contacts with all the scholars and students who are working on Central Asian. And we are very happy today to have the opportunity to meet with you and to let know what we are doing. So now I will let Diana Skiba talk a bit more about IFEAC and a little bit introduction of our institute.
Thank you, Xavier. Dear all, hello, dear participants. I'm really glad to, we are really glad to present to you our institution today. And I hope that the information that we'll present will be really useful and helpful and interesting for all of you. So let me start with some points about the IFEAC. So the French Institute for Central Asian Studies is one of the 27 French research institutes on social sciences abroad. But we have our particularity. As Xavier mentioned a few seconds ago, IFEAC is a regional institute, so we cover all the Central Asian countries: Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and also Turkmenistan. And we're also interested in some neighboring regions that could have their impact on what's going on in Central Asia, and can have some ideas or maybe some opportunities for the region. So it may be Russia, Mongolia, China, Pakistan, Afghanistan. So everything that could help us to understand the context, the regional context. IFEAC was founded in 1993 in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, and since 2013, the institute is located in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. IFEAC is under administrative supervision of the French Ministry of Europe and Foreign Affairs. And CNRS, that stands for National Center for Scientific Research. IFEAC's team is really small, modest. It's our director researcher, senior researcher officer, Xavier Hallez, scientific secretary, me, and secretary general and administrative assistant. But we have a widespread network of associated researchers from all over the world that help us to realize our mission and that support us in our research activities. And so I give the floor to our researcher, Xavier, to continue the presentation.
Yes, to complete a little bit about our institute, we have also a library which is open to public. So it's for the moment, it's of course with the pandemic, we are not open as we like to. But anyway, anybody who come to Bishkek can come to work at our places in the library. And there is also just it's quite new, so it's why I am telling about it today. That's the CNRS, so it's like of Science Academy of France, give us the possibility to have access to all scientific journals. So if you come to our library, you have the possibility to have access for free to all scientific papers in any journal around the world. So for people who are in Central Asia, it could be quite useful. And so if you come to our library, you can have access to it. And we have also, of course, books and journals. So there is mainly we have books we are edited in or published in Central Asia, but we have also books from authors in English or in French, of course. Here, it's the main axis of research that we are just dealing with during the 3 next years. So the three axes are heritage, circulation, and digitalization. So for the moment, there is some acts of research who are more developed, and some who we will develop in the future. And so it's quite important also maybe for those who wanted to cooperate with us to have any idea about it, because we will be very happy if some of students or scholars wanted to take part in this act of research with us. So the first one, which is more developed, it's about heritage. So we are here dealing mainly with memorial history. So it could be memorial monuments or sacred sites. That's one part which is quite developed. We have a big project who are already a few years ago is going on. And the other part is also inside heritage, but not only. It's about environment. So we have a lot of now we want this year especially to develop on this subject, which could be which is pluridisciplinary. So we can have people from all the disciplines, social sciences, of course, but also so from ecology, or we are dealing with more practical elements about environment and the nature and all the climate changing and all these questions. So that's one of the main axes. The second is about circulation. Here, we're not talking about only circulation of person, but also of manufacturing goods and of ideas. So it's all kind of mobility. And the third one is digitalization. So it's a question which is quite important now. And as we see in Kazakhstan, in Uzbekistan, in Kyrgyzstan, mainly all this project about smart city, about digitalization of all the public services. So we will try to also move on these questions. And for example, we in January we host a PhD student from Kazakhstan will be work on this question on these questions, and we'll do also a seminar. So here also one of the elements we are trying to do with all kind of scholars or students who are interested in to offer the possibility to speak on their subject on a webinar or seminar. Of course, for a year, it's for 2 years, it's mainly online. But we hope that in the future we can also organize things in presence in Bishkek or elsewhere in Central Asia. So we are always very happy to receive any proposition for webinar conferences and to make things to do some cooperation about this kind of event. So that's the three main research acts. I just also wanted just to add something about myself in a sense, because as was said, there is a director who just does all the organization of the institute, and as a senior researcher In IFEAC, I have also my own project, which is mainly about identity between, I do a comparison between Kyrgyz and Kazakh identity from the 1960s until nowadays. So it's also question, of course, of memorial history about and also about construction of states, of identity, of culture, literature, and so that's why I organized last year a seminar was called Art and Literature in Central Asia, and that will go on this year. So also, if there is some of you who are dealing with this question of art and literature on in Central Asia, I will also we could receive their proposition and maybe they could participate in this webinar. So here now we see the three main scientific activities of our institute. Of course, one of the big point of our institute is to make publications. So we have different kind of publications. We have our journal, which is called Le Cahier d'Asie Centrale. Usually they are thematic. It's we try to publish one issue a year. So the last issue was on cities about Bishkek, Dushanbe, and Astana. And so we are preparing now two other issues, and one will be on environment. So we will soon being published a call for participation in this issue. So that's our journal. We have also a collection which is called Centre Asie, where it's mainly monographies. So quite oftenly it's a PhD doctor and they wanted to publish their dissertation, and so we help them with the publication of their dissertation. But it's not only. The two next issue that will be in this collection, one will be on 1917. It will be a collective work about the revolution in the marches. So not about Russian revolution, but more about what was all around. So it will be in Turkestan, in on the Tatars, Volga, Ukraine, Belarus, Finland, the Jews, the Germans. So all these questions. And the next publication will be the translation in French of the book by Nurbulat Masanov, the nomad civilization of the Kazakhs. And so, and we just also for this collection, we also are eager to have any proposition of publications and we could have a look at. And the publication could be in French or in English. So in our journal, you can, was a question, you can propose a paper either on French if you can, of course, but in English or even in Russian, and we can translate it in Russian. And our journal are online. You can have access to it. And for the article were translated into French, you can have the original Russian version online for all the paper of our journal. Also, we have something which is quite specific, which is only online, and it's called working papers. And here it's many papers, about 10 or 15 pages, who is either people who get some say stipendia to come to Central Asia by our institute, and after they have to write a paper about their subjects. And we also offer the possibility for some researchers just to send a paper, and we have a kind of financial support for them to publish and or to write this paper that afterward we will be published online in working paper. On our site, we could see all these publication, and also you have these descriptions, and you can have also how you can get access to these publications. The second one is, of course, we organizing seminars, roundtables, and conferences. So, of course, due to pandemic, we didn't organize many conferences, but we trying to do on next year too. We are planning, hoping that the situation will be better, to organize some conferences with the presence of the participants, and it will be in the different countries of Central Asia. But anyway, if it will not be possible, these conferences or roundtables will be organized online. And so here we have different kind of events. So as I said, some kind of seminars or webinar if it's online. And so some are regular, like the seminar about art and literature. And also we just organize also different kind of webinar about some topic which is could be a hot topic, or something if we knew that there is a researcher we coming to Central Asia and doing some new research, we're trying to give him the possibility, or her to give him the possibility to express and to present he or her works. And so for next year, we will have different conferences, roundtables, and webinar. And again, if you go on our site, you can have the information about these different events. And so now I will let Diana Skiba talk about our scholarship.
Thank you, Xavier. Just to complete your presentation, all the scientific activities of the IFEAC are structured by these three axes of research, three main axes of research. And as Xavier told us, we have three main languages. So we publish a lot in French, but we also have a lot of publications in English and also in Russian. But when we have any articles in Russian, we are trying to translate them into French or English so that it gets more important for the international researchers, international public. So our third main activity is scholarships. And that is something that is really important for the students and researchers in France and in Central Asian region. So basically we have two main types of scholarships. Bourse d'aide à la mobilité, or in English, mobility grants, for masters or doctoral students who are enrolled in one of the French or European higher education institutions without a nationality requirement, and who plan the research field in Central Asia, so in one of the Central Asian countries, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, or Turkmenistan. So maybe it will not cover all the costs, but it will allow to some students to go to Central Asia and to discover the region, to make the field work, the field research, and it will partially reimburse the costs. And the second main type is FMSH IFEAC grant. Donc it's a joint grant. The Fondation Maison de Sciences de Langue and IFEAC. We offer a short-term fellowships in France. This time is for postdoc researchers from Central Asia. So if there is someone who has already his or her PhD degree, he has the possibility to go to France in order to continue the research activities. And in this case, FMSH and IFEAC will cover almost all the costs of this person. So all the call for applications are published in our official website. So here at the end of the presentation, we'll send you the presentation. You can find all the links that could be useful for you if you want to discover more information about the French Institute. So here you can see our official website. The second link is for Cahiers des Centrales. So it's one of the periodic research journal of IFEAC. And we have our YouTube channel. Here you can find almost all the webinars organized by IFEAC. It was really useful last year and this year with the pandemic. And here on the last link, it's our Facebook page. All the information, all the call for applications are published on our official website and also Facebook page. So if you consult them regularly, you can find all the information and all the possibilities, ideas, everything about our activities. So, Xavier.
Yes, so mainly we briefly presented our institute, IFEAC. What I wanted to add that of course we are based in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. So we are always open to any person who want to come to visit us or to work in our library. We are open something like from 10 to 5. So you just have to contact us, and we'll be very pleased to host you at our institute. And as was said about this, we try to support. So we have also, of course, our events and our grants and so on. But we also trying to help with our network. So and also with all the cooperation agreements that we signed with different institutions in Central Asia. So we try to have contact with all the main scientific institutions in Central Asia, and also with archive. So especially for historian or people who are working in archive, we have also agreement with archive in Central Asia. So we can also just help students or scholar if they want to come to Central Asia in order to facilitate their stay and their research. And of course, we have also quite a huge network in Central Asia and abroad for people who are working in Central Asia. So we can also put together people who are working on the same topics. So here also like a platform just to make contact between different scholars or students. And so we will always happy to help in this sense. So you don't have to hesitate to pass by to our institute or to write to us if you have any questions or if you want to have some help or some advices on about Central Asian studies in large. So we are our institute is really the main purpose is that is to make to support all kind of research and researchers. So and also when here very oftenly you have the people who don't have any institution affiliation. For them, it's sometimes quite difficult to have some grants or some support. And we also try to support this kind of researcher, and especially Central Asian, because we know that there is a lot which is quite difficult for them to find any financial support or any, and also to have the possibility to publish. So here also on our the first link, ifeachypothese.org, you can have access to different kind of mailing list. So you can of course sign up to our mailing list, so you can have all the information about our activities. But you have also on this mailing list two which are French mailing lists. But anyway, you got a lot of information about what is going on about Central Asia, so conferences, call for grant, call for paper. So it's one is Monde Russe, which is more about Russia, Central Europe, Central Europe, Eastern Europe, but also on Central Asia. And the other, which is Eurasie Centrale, which is more about really Central Asia. And so it's French one, but you got a lot of information in English. And anyway, it's not only for French scholar or French students. So you can also can get some very useful information about the new publication and all these different elements. So now I think we talk about almost half an hour. So we'll be happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, thank you very much, Xavier and Diana. It was very brief and to the point. Just organizational matter, we have another 30 minutes for Q&A session. Those who want to ask questions directly, please raise your hands, and then I will let you unmute yourself and ask questions directly. And if it's possible, Diana, could you please copy these links into the chat? That would be very helpful. Thank you very much. And by the way, yes, we have already some people raising questions. This is a recorded session, and we will be posting this in our YouTube channel. So if you missed something, you're always welcome to watch it again. Yeah, okay. Dr. Nazima Muratova, please. Okay.
Hello, I'm Nazima Muratova from University of Journalism in Uzbekistan, and also the founder of think tank Media Research Center in Tashkent. I'm interested in postdoc level scholarships, and do we contact with the represented with the people who are working in Uzbekistan to clarify some questions, organizational questions, or we could contact with you or with Gulzat Batayeva, from who we get an email, just organizational moments.
Okay, thank you for the question. I think I can start to answer, if you don't mind. So on our website page, can you see it right now? Yes, okay. So here we have the part called Financement Granted. And you can find the grant program that I told you before. It's FMSH IFEAC was the last one. So for this year, with 2022, it's already closed, but you have all the information you need to complete your to get ready to the next year. So there are some eligibility criteria. So we can start to consult all this information. You have the application procedure, and of course you have a lot of useful links here. So for example, if you want to know more about this program, and if you're looking for someone to contact, here you can have all the information. So FMSH, it's Benedict Trastier who is responsible for this program, and she can also answer your questions. And IFEAC, it's me. Don't you have my address, electronic address, email? So if you have any question, of course, you can contact me. But all the information is published right here, and everything you need, I think, is on the web page, on the website page.
Yeah, thank you. Indira Alibayeva, you can ask a question.
Oh,
please
hear me? Yeah, sorry. Hello, everyone. Thank you for organizers to this opportunity to hear about this institute, about the IFEAC, and thank you so much for the presentations. I had a question about the direction called circulation. You mentioned that it is about mobility, all kind of mobility. I would like to know more about which topics does it also cover, and if there is an information in the website on this direction.
No, at the moment there is no information on the website about circulation. It's one of the topic which is just on not already really developed. So so we don't have the real orientation about this topic at the moment. It's one of the elements we would like to have any proposition about in order to develop this point. So and as I told before, it's just all kind of circulation or mobility. So it's person, it's goods, it's ideas, it's anything you can imagine about circulation. So if you are working on this kind of topic and if you are interested to cooperate with us, we'll be very happy to have your topic, what you are working on, and in order maybe to do something together. So in this sense, it's these axes of research, they are quite open. So when if there is some scholars or students who wanted to work on this kind of topics, and we will be very happy to know what we are working on, and after in order maybe to do something together to in the future to organize events or publications or different kind of cooperation.
Thank you so much. But we can contact you, yeah, you and Diana on this.
Yeah, you can contact us, and we always will answer you. So and for any kind of question, and about of course if you are working on this subject, it will be for us it's quite very interesting. As I was saying before, for digitalization, for example, we have one PhD student from Kazakhstan. He work on this subject, and so he come to us, and we organize a webinar about his topics, and so after just developing a kind of this way.
Thank you.
Welcome.
We have Madi Jakubayev. Would you please unmute yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Madi Jakubayev. I'm a PhD student at Nazarbayev University, Kazakhstan. I firstly would like to thank you all for such informative presentation and your opportunities that you are providing. Just a quick question. I'm working on corruption, and one of the parts on the corruption, dissertation about the corruption and anti-corruption policies. And one of the chapters that I'm planning to write is about the digitalization and how it affects the corruption behavior. And the way I can either work contribute to your digitalization research acts, and maybe I can publish one part of chapter in your journal or something like that.
Yeah, we'll be very happy. Just write to us with your topic, what you're working on, and after we will contact you in January, and just let us see what we could do together about this subject. Of course, it's very interesting. Corruption with digitalization is one of quite important questions nowadays. So we'll be very happy to have your contribution.
Thank you.
So you have just send us an email, and with especially with your name and with the topic, and in order to just make a good idea about it. I think we have also questions about tourism. I say from Yerkin Tikenov.
Questions from in the chat.
So yeah. So do you cover tourism as part of social sciences, including heritage, security? And yes, of course, tourism is one of big part, especially when we're talking about environment. It's always have a kind of link with development of tourism, of the possibility of tourism, and what we are what is tourism in Central Asia. And for example, as I work on the movement Kokje Lao in Kazakhstan, and here always when there is kind of opposition to this project, the element of tourism is always a big part of it. So of course we are doing things with tourism, and we'll be very happy also to have, if you are working on this topic, to know what we are working on. It's for us, it's also quite interesting to know what are doing now the PhD students, what are the subjects where they are working on, and for us, it's also after the possibility to put people in contact. When we know what they are doing, we know that, oh yes, there is a scholar we're coming, wanted to work on this subject, but we know that there is also PhD students who are working on this subject, and so we can bring them together, and after to make them work on the same project. So it's always very helpful for us to know all the topics we are telling now. If there is another, so maybe for Diana, will there be a call for application in the AMI funding program in 2022?
Yes, of course, the information will be published in January. So on our website, I can show it really quickly. So here you can consult this part, Boursamia de la Mobilité. So basically, it was just the PhD level, but this year, we have tried to diversify our approach. So we decided to propose this time for master's or doctoral students to apply to this kind of grant. And it went really good. We received a lot of applications and really good letters and ideas.
Diana,
So
I think like we cannot see the link that you're talking about. It's your presentation at this moment.
I'm sorry. Can you see the website page right now?
Not yet. It's still on your presentation page.
I'm sorry. So, oh. Just 1 second. It works? Does it work?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now it works.
So this part, financement granté. Here you can find this link, Boursamia de la Mobilité. And here you can look through the criteria, the eligibility criteria, and the procedure. You have, as usual, an email. If you have any question, you can always contact us. So, as I said, next year we will publish the information will be published on our website in January, I hope so, or maybe in February. So if you consult regularly our website and Facebook page, you'll find all the information about this kind of grant.
Thank you, Diana. I think you both covered the questions in the chat. If anybody has more questions, please, we still have about 15 minutes of our time. If not, I would probably ask my question also. I was wondering, it's really great things that you were talking about. I was wondering, do you, by any chance, have any kind of support in funding of local initiatives, something like summer school or like small collaborative projects for the local independent researchers who don't probably have affiliation with some other institution?
For this kind of support, mainly it's not on a regular basis like the grant we got before, which is more organized, and we got this call each year, and we tried, depending on years and on our budget, to give some help in different ways. So, for example, this year we give some financial support for the writing of papers, so mainly to scholars or PhD students who have not really kind of financial support or institution affiliation. And also we can, depending on years and if there is a project which is going on, to organize conferences or roundtables, and or even some kind of missions, on field missions together. So it's for this kind of support, we the person need to contact us to present a project, and after we'll see what we can do. And either we can just organize by ourselves. It is going in the scientific orientation and of IFEAC, and also if the budget permits it, or we can also put in contact with others projects with going on, and that we know that it could be helpful for them. So as you know, there is a lot of, especially in France, we got the system of ANR, which is kind of big project about 4 years, 3-4 years, depending on and so we also, if we know that the person is working on the same topic as an ANR is going on, we could put the people in contact, and so maybe they can take part of this scientific project, research project. So here, of course, we can fund some elements, but our budget is quite limited, so we cannot do everything. We just have to choose what we can do. So that's, of course, a part of the thing we could propose to all scholars, but also here it's to put people in contact. So here to be like an intermediaries between different researchers and projects.
Thank you very much. So now we have in line Janibek Arinov. Could you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time, and thank you for this information. It's very good to know more about IFEAC and what you do. And yeah, kind of, we look forward to work with you if possible. I just have a very quick question about Atlas Scholarship for Postdocs. I was just wondering, how many scholarships do you have per year, or does it vary? I mean, the number of scholarships vary from year to year. So just to get some kind of idea, what should we expect? Thank you.
So, if I'm not mistaken, you are asking about the duration of the program?
No. Duration is 2 and 3 months, as far as I know, right? I mean, how many scholarships do you have? Yeah, per year.
So we have about, it depends, because, for example, if we have, how can I explain? It depends on the number of applications. Because if we have someone who would like to go to France for 3 months, and we have maybe, I don't know, 5 applications for 3 months, it's a little bit complicated. But if we have 10 applications and every person just want to go to France for 1 month or 2, then we can just diversify, and we can arrange the final sum proposed by FMSH and IFEAC. So it depends. It depends on the duration, the number of candidates, and every year we have the procedure, and the director of our institute and the director of FMSH, they discuss and they try to help as much as they can. So, for example, last year or this year, in 2021, we have 4 candidates, 2 candidates who get the grant finally, who get the grant, 2 candidates of 3 months and 2 candidates of 1 month. So it depends.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, just to add a little bit about it. Here, of course, there is not so many scholarships who are available, but also the idea is that it's depending also on the number of application. In fact, if there is more application, that means that the utility of this project is more obvious. And if there is not so much applications, then of course the program could be in questions in a sense. So even if maybe there is not so much scholarship, but more there will be application, maybe more the program will have kind of interest, and in this sense they could be after have got more scholarships. So it's also a question about the interest that is presented. So, but because quite oftenly we don't have so much application, and so if there is more application, and it depends also of if there is because sometimes we have people who are not maybe enough developed or enough in the scientific process. But if you have a very good proposition, so it helps after to give this program a more stronger basis, and after it could develop, then they could be more they could give more scholarships. So if you are interested in it, don't hesitate to send an application. It's always useful.
Thank you. I've applied for the next year, so we'll see. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's actually, I think after today's presentation, you will have more applications, since there's many of our local scholars probably didn't know. Next, Asil Berdalieva was in line to ask question. Please unmute yourself and ask your question. I want to remind we have about 10 minutes left. So.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Thank you for interesting presentation. I have several questions for you. The first one about heritage section was already mentioned. It covers about monuments and memory studies. And how about intangible heritage, like living heritage or intangible, which is recognized by UNESCO, because it has 2 categories, like tangible and intangible. And also second one, for example, let's say I'm from Kyrgyzstan, but if I want to do field work in Uzbekistan or Turkmenistan, can I ask your assistance in reaching out local scholars over there or academic institutions to establish contacts with them? And the third question about fellowships, postdoc fellowships, are they only in French, or also can we apply with English only? Thank you.
So maybe Jana, you can answer about the application, and after I will.
Yes, of course. So it's in French or in English. It's up to you if you would like to present your researches. If you would like to send the application, you can choose the language, English or French.
And after about the question about heritage, and of course we are dealing with intangible and tangible heritage. So in the sense of the UNESCO, of course, all the UNESCO programs are of course part of what we are studying. So if you are working on this this subject or this topic, we are very happy to have your proposition and to know what you are working on. So of course the intangible is it's part of the heritage, so we are dealing with this also. And for if you want to go to Uzbekistan. Unfortunately, we don't have so many fundings for this kind of mobility. So from one country of Central Asia to another one. But of course, if you need to have some contacts, we'll be very happy to give you all the elements that we have our network in Central Asia, and especially because IFEAC before was based in Tashkent, so from 1993 until 1910 or 11, and so we have quite a lot of contact in Uzbekistan, so I think we can help you if you need some to have contact with scholars or institution in Uzbekistan.
Thank you. I guess we will have to take the last question from Dr. Nazima Muratova because it's basically time for question and answer. 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. It is a short question. Do you have a support for organizations, for non-government organizations who are working on research projects? If yes, could you share some cases from Central Asia countries in which field they do their research? Thank you.
So no, we don't really fund any kind of this non-governmental organization because we are really a scientific institution, and we only support researcher and research institution. Here, many those who are supporting this kind of activities and the non-governmental organization, it's more like embassy. So if you are just put in contact with French embassy, they are supporting different kind of activities, especially about sexual equality, the supporting the women rights, and some environmental questions. So there is some questions we are now very important for especially for France. So which are the main questions where the embassy could help. But by ourselves, we all can also with this organization we can just cooperate. But for the funding, we cannot really be helpful in this sense.
Thank you very much. We actually have maybe one more question, time for one more question, short one, if anybody has urgent question. Yeah, well, I think it was very productive and very informative session. Many thanks to Mr. Xavier Hallez and Diana Skiba for taking the time to tell us more about IFEAC. I think for many of our participants that was quite informative, for me especially, and I hope that many of our researchers will be more active in applications, because that's one of the weakest parts of our local researchers, and lack of information. Unfortunately, I don't think that many of our researchers knew about your organization before, but now, since we are advertising it actively among Central Asian academic and analytical writing network, I think like you will have plenty of applications coming up. And thank you very much again for all the participants, for all your interesting questions. It was really nice to have you for 1 hour here. And for those who missed our session and those who are still interested, you know how to contact us, and we will post the recorded session on our YouTube channel, and we will post it again through the same links that through the same advertisement platform, so you can find to watch it again if you missed something. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much for the organizers. We are very happy to have introduced you to our institute, IFEAC. It's more than 20 years that we are in Central Asia, and we will be very happy to have any kind of cooperation, and we are really eager to have to receive you in Bishkek, or to receive an email from you and to have future cooperation on different kind of scientific projects. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for
Thank
the
you.
invitation, for your time,
Thank
for
you.
your interest. Thank you.
Thank you.